Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
All right, Willis, talk to us about that word. Now, you're the one who fronted this word for Word on the Street, and I can see why. You really wanted Kenyans to have a hard time. Talk to us about it.
Not really hard time, but there is something that we can learn about the multisyllabic words which have, many syllables in them, and some of them may not be, very common, in our day-to-day communication. But here we are talking about that exam or the religious service that is normally offered to those who complete, high school in some of the foreign countries or international schools, Betty. And the correct or acceptable pronunciation of this word is baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate.
So you don't say basa. Yes, you say baccalaureate.
Okay,
and one of the unionists in this country, that is for teachers, Jeffrey Mogire, is the one who fronted for this word, or fronted for the word, and here we are, baccalaureate.
Okay. Baccalaureate. All right, multisyllabic, you said.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to another multisyllabic name. Now, this one is one that really has given, especially journalists, quite a hard time over the last couple of days. So, Cholmondley. There's so many ways that I've heard this being pronounced. Talk to us about it, Willis.
Betty, can you just say what you've said a few seconds ago?
Cholmondley, Cholmondley. Is that the correct pronunciation?
That is what has been doing the rounds locally. But Betty, this word has many letters, but the pronunciation of that name is Chamley. Chamley. You can also say Chomley.
Chomley.
But the acceptable or the standard pronunciation of that name is Chamley. So Chamley or Chomley.
All right, so it's not Cholmondley.
And what we have to remember, Betty, no, we don't say Cholmondley. You remember even when we send, our athletes abroad, sometimes Kipketer, you may hear of Kipketa or Kipkita. You must have heard about that. Yeah. And as I always say, names are tricky. They can only be pronounced accurately sometimes by people who hail from their areas or countries of origin. But this one for the British, this is a son to the 5th Lord Delamere, that is the British settlers. Yeah. And this one is Chamley or Chomley. Cholmondeley, Cholmondley, Chaliomondi, and all that out. Chamley or Chomley.
What is that? Okay, Willis, I haven't heard the last one that you said, but anyway, it's good to just rule out all of them.
I've had so many versions, Betty.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you for that, Willis. Chomley is the name. All right, let's move on to the next one. Do we say idiom or idiom? So this is also another one, especially with our teachers.
Betty, at the beginning of that word, letter I takes the short or pure vowel sound E. You say idiom. Idiom, not idiom. Many people would say idiom, especially from, the pronunciation of idle. But this one you say idiom, and you also say idiomatic expression. Idiomatic, not idiomatic.
But
idiom, idiomatic.
But wait, Willis, you've just said expression. Is that how we pronounce that word? Not expression?
You say expression. You can say but letter E takes the sound E. Though is also allowed. There are what we call the nuances of pronunciation. There are certain, the pedantic aspects, the very small, aspects, you should not be so much, bothered about them. But when it comes to getting it right, especially in careers of serious communication, we say expression.
All right, that's obviously a surprise, Willis. Expression. All right, thank you so much for that, Willis. Got it.
Betty and English.
Moving on to the next word. Now, do we say applaud, applaud, applause, applause? This is also one that I've seen quite a number of people requesting for it.
This one, Betty, we say applaud.
Applaud.
To applaud.
Okay.
Not applaud. I think Bevan, Waweru, and Paris Maragia, that is lovers of this program, they must be very happy. Bevan Waweru and Paris Maragia, we are dealing with your word now. Applaud.
Applaud. All
not
right.
applaud.
Okay, so does it also go for applause, not applause?
You don't say applause.
Okay.
Basically, what happens, Betty, is letter A and U combine to form the long vowel sound O, just like in August.
August.
So I talked of digraph.
Yes.
Digraphs. Two letters combining to form one sound. This is A and U forming the long vowel sound O. Applaud.
Okay.
Applause.
All right.
Not applause, not applaud.
Okay, got it, Willis. Moving on to another word. We say mystery, mystery. That's also one that, has a number of problems with pronunciation.
Betty, that one came all the way from Embu. And no, that one was from one Teddy Achanga, if I'm not wrong. Teddy Achanga. We say mystery. Mystery, not maestry. Teddy Achanga, mystery, not maestry.
Or mystery.
You know, sometimes, Betty, what happens with English, we may find ourselves, thinking that we know when we may not be knowing, or what we innocently hear in our locality may not be accurate when it comes to the standard or acceptable pronunciation of a word.
All right. Got it, Willis.
So, mystery.
Mystery. All right, moving on to another one here. Do we say gloves or gloves? You know, like the ones the doctors put on, or
a very tricky one.
Yeah.
Betty, letter O in that word takes the mid vowel sound or the mid central vowel sound Gloves. Gloves. We don't say gloves.
No.
Remember, we also don't say doves. Doves, no. You say the doves.
Doves.
Doves. And we also say shove. Shove, not to shove. Shove.
To shove.
Shove, just like love. Love, not love. Yes, shove, not shove.
Okay, Willis. I don't know why people say love, but then they say gloves, and there's the love in the middle of okay, the other word.
The problem with English, Betty, is what we call irregularities in spelling and pronunciation.
Okay.
Just like you see a word like hard. Hard. Can you try hard? But when you come to the word word, you now say word, not word.
Okay.
But we have A-R-D. So they are irregular, the phonology is sometimes a bit confusing, and that is why I say always we must sometimes understand the fact that non-native speakers of English may not be very accurate.
All right, Willis. Okay, we want to quickly go to our feedback question. It comes from one Natasha George. She's asking about this one. I'm going to spell it out. M-A-S-S-E-U-R.
Well, Betty, I've already flashed something, and I'll ask you to excuse me for that.
Okay.
We have the word co, like in diplomatic co.
Okay.
Many people say cops, but we say co. This one came from Frederick Njeru. This is the one that came from Embu.
All right.
Frederick Njeru, who loves this program so much, we must also give him something that is co. Co, not cops.
Not cops.
So cops, mighty.
Okay.
But we talk of diplomatic co.
All right.
So straight to your question,
on our
the feedback question we have from Natasha George.
Yeah.
So we have a very tricky word, Betty. M-A-S-S-E-U-R.
Yeah.
This is when we are talking about a person who gives, people massage. So we talk of massa in English. Massa.
Oh.
Massa.
Okay.
So Natasha George and our viewers, don't say masua.
Okay.
It's massa.
I was
Masa.
I was
That is in
pronouncing that
English.
word wrong all along. I've always said monsieur. Okay, but now I know it's masa. I don't know if people though will understand.
We say masa.
But Willis, seriously, if you go somewhere
You
and
know
say,
what happens? Just carry on, Betty.
yeah, I'm saying, I mean, when you go somewhere and you ask, like, I want a masa, you know, someone is going to look at you like, what do you mean masa? But it's the correct one, so that's what matters.
And as I told you, sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, with lawyers, they say ignorance has no defense.
Okay.
And we have to get it right, especially for the sake of learners who now grow knowing which is which. Instead of, you know, we've been blaming our teachers, we've been blaming who we say now they told us the wrong things. Now we are realizing we are sometimes getting words wrong. You remember
Yes.
the case of tortoise?
Yes, tortoise.
Everybody believed it. Tortoise.
Tortoise, but it's actually tortoise. Or,
But tortoise.
lettuce.
So
not
later they
lettuce.
discovered, Willis talked of tortoise, lettuce, and spinach,
Spinach.
not spinach. At the end of the day, people discovered, so this is what we should have been told when we were learning. But even our teachers, we
Yeah.
can't blame them,
No.
Betty, because most of them were also taught exactly that way. What should have
Exactly.
happened?
Yeah.
Grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation should have been taught or taken seriously. That is at par. But
Yeah.
that being the case, Betty, can I now come up with my surprise word for
Yes,
tonight?
yes, please, yes, please. Though we're already so surprised, but carry on.
I know. So, Betty, many people talk of a dwarf. Dwarf. The dwarf.
Isn't that correct?
And I want to tell you, I've just talked about no, that is wrong. That is inaccurate. Because A and R combine to form the long sound O.
Oh.
So you say a dwarf, dwarf, not dwarf, both in British English and American English. Though in American English, you may hear of dwarf, dwarf, but this word is pronounced
Wow.
as a dwarf.
A dwarf.
But locally, we always hear of
Dwarf.
dwarf.
Okay.
A dwarf.
That's a surprise to
And
me.
finally, Betty. I know.
You know.
Now, next to the confusing words,
Yeah.
we have depot. D-E-P-O-T. Depot. The
Depot.
depot. Beer depot. We don't talk of depot. Don't say beer depot. We say beer depot.
Okay.
Then when somebody is sent back to his or her country, we talk of deport. That is a
Deport.
verb. To deport.
All
That is
right.
D-E-P-O-R-T. To
Deport.
deport somebody. So and so has been deported.
Okay.
Ported.
Ported.
To deport. So you have to know these sounds of English because, Betty, do we say give or give? Give or give? Which is which?
Aki, Willis, you're putting me... Okay, so give.
No, Betty,
Give.
we are learning. We
Okay.
are just learning. And I always say nobody can be perfect, not even Willis.
You're
That is my
putting me on the
son.
spot.
So
Give.
when you say give,
Yeah.
it's like we have the long vowel sound E.
E.
We just say give.
Give.
G-I-V-E is to give,
Give.
somebody something.
Okay.
To live in a place, not
Okay.
to leave.
Not-
When you say leave, it's like you are walking from one place to another place.
Okay.
Leave or taking leave. L-E-A-V-E. That one
Yes.
has the long vowel sound E.
E.
But live, the verb is live.
Live.
Then the adjective is live. Live.
Okay.
A live show.
Okay.
We may do it until tomorrow. So, because of time, I know Moses is somewhere or whoever is there for sport. So,
Okay.
Betty, they can contact me at Willis Ochieng 1.
Okay.
Anything from you?
I'm just to say thank you for, for the lessons tonight, dwarf and not dwarf. And it's good that we've also reminded our viewers that we say spinach and lettuce and not the other words
Yeah,
that we
spinach,
always, and
lettuce.
tortoise,
Yes.
not tortoise. Willis,
Tortoise.
Tortoise. Look at me. Tortoise. All right, Willis, thank you so much for, of course, for that. He's coming to us live from Kisumu County, teaching us these difficult pronunciations like tortoise and not tortoise. Okay. So that's it for Mind Your Language. Coming up shortly is sports.